Hey guys, it's Aislinn, and in today's video we're going to be touching up Abby's hair. If you did not see my previous video with her, about 6 weeks ago we did like a total hair transformation. She had blonde money pieces that had purple leftover color, and then the back of her head was brown and it had like a couple layers of box dye. So I took her from that to what she has now. It's been 6 weeks, so she has some regrowth. It's faded quite a bit, so we are going to refresh her color today. And immediately, as soon as I got these dyes in the mail, I knew I wanted to try them on her. So these are the Killstar Coven All-Seeing dyes. So if you have not seen my previous video on the Killstar color, I will leave a link to it right up there for you guys. You can click on that. I swatch all the colors they released and see if they come out of the hair. So two of them specifically caught my eye and I knew I wanted to try them on her. We have the shades Goetia. No idea if that's how you pronounce it. Again, went through this last time. And then we have Blood Moon. So to tackle her 6 weeks of regrowth, I'm going in with what I used last time, which is the Loreal Hicolor High Lifts. I'm going in with the shade Red Fire, and I use this with 30 volume developer. This is so that way I can avoid bleaching her roots. So if you have naturally dark hair and you want to skip having to bleach and then apply semi-permanent color, use this instead. It's super easy. It's more gentle on the hair than bleaching it. So I'm going to go in and apply this all over her regrowth here. I have one tube mixed up. We got 2 tubes just in case we need more, but she doesn't have that much regrowth. So I'm going to apply this all over, let it process, wash that out, and then we are going to glaze her with the semi-permanent colors from Killstar. I can't wait to try these on actual hair and like see how they look, and it's gonna look really nice and refreshed. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on some gloves and start applying the color. I'm really excited. So here is what her regrowth looks like. It's about as grown out as mine, and she is about a level 6 naturally up here. So we're gonna use 30 volume to make sure it's super bright. So even though she does have these 2 brighter pieces right here in the front, and then the back is darker, I am applying the same color all over. Applying this all over is gonna get her to like this really bright color. If you apply this color on virgin hair, you're gonna get a very nice neon red. If you apply it on box color, you're gonna get a little bit of a deeper red like we have back here. All this was previously box color. So I am going to drag like all of this through this back just because it breaks up some of this box color. We had a little bit of banding last time. You really can't tell, it's faded beautifully, but I am gonna run this through this back portion. That 30 volume will do a really good job at getting out even more of that banding or leftover box dye that's back here and just brighten it up a little bit more. So I'm gonna apply this all over at the roots, and then we'll apply it on this back section.
Voice over me here. I just want to tell you guys why I decided to use a high lift color instead of using bleach, because I feel like a lot of people would probably just reach for bleach when you're doing such an intense vibrant red color. But for me, I personally feel like it's less damaging to use a high lift color like this versus just going straight towards bleach. If we did bleach her roots, I would use 30 volume, and Abby has had a very long history of bleaching her roots. You guys know we used to do really fun neon vibrant colors on her literally all the time. Like she did bright pink and yellow. I mean, she's had pretty much every color under the rainbow, and with that much bleaching, your hair obviously gets more damaged over time. And also I feel like the color stays better because I'm applying this red permanent high lift color at her roots. So I'm not just glazing blonde hair with a red, I'm actually making her natural color red and then glazing on top of already red hair. So I definitely feel like the red stays a lot better, as you guys can clearly see. I mean, like I said, it's been a month and a half and she's been washing her hair with hot water, and her hair looks amazing still. And I really think a big part of that is because I used a Highlift Red and I didn't use a bleach. Sometimes when you bleach the hair, vivid colors can fall out a little bit easier if you have a lot of damage. And also, like I said, she did have previous box dye, so if I were to try and bleach out all of that previous box dye, it would have been a large color correction for me, and I would have had a lot of banding throughout her hair. So for right now, as a first step, I decided to go ahead and just use use a Highlift Red color. In the future, if she wants to go blonde, I feel like it would be easier for me to go from this red color to blonde than for me to try and color correct years of box dye and uneven banding to get her blonde. So maybe in the future we'll go blonde. I've talked to her about it because she used to have like really white hair. So maybe in the next year or so she will want to switch it up and go blonde or do some fun other colors. I love being able to do like cool colors like this on my friends.
All right, you guys, we got the color applied and I went to go open the tube and see how long it's supposed to process for. When I opened it, one of these fell out. So each tube has this copper intensifier and you're supposed to mix this in with the color, and I'm just like very confused because I thought I got the same color I got last time, but I don't think I did. So I know I got the Loreal Hicolor Highlift, but I think I got it in the shade Red Hot last time, which did not come with these, and this time I got it in the shade Red Fire. So it's not gonna look any different. It's still gonna be bright red, but I did not add the intensifiers in there, which honestly isn't the end of the world. Like, I don't need these. It's still gonna be red and I'm gonna glaze it with semi-permanent, so it really doesn't matter. But I think I'm just going to dump this in with the rest of the color I have. I just have a little bit of color left. So I think I'm just gonna dump these in and like go ahead and put it on her hair just because I'm supposed to. Anyway, I'm just gonna dump these in with like the color I have left and go back over her roots just to make sure. I know it doesn't matter and I don't need these. This is basically just direct dye in a tube. It's like liquid red and you're supposed to put it in there just as like a booster. Don't need to do it, but I'm going to just in case, just to cover my ass and make sure everything is good to go. Okay, maximum of 30 minutes. So 20 to 30 minutes is what it recommends. So I'm gonna let it process for 30 minutes. I'm gonna go back in, dump these in there, mix everything up, and I'm gonna watch my other video and see what it was called because I'm 99% sure it was called Red Hot, not Red Fire. So I'm gonna double check that, reapply this, and I will be right back after we wash this out and she's done processing. Okay, so we are back. We went ahead and washed her hair. The color we got definitely does have more of a copper undertone. It's like a coppery red. So if you love like a copper red, definitely get this one. Doesn't really matter for us. It lifted her roots, did what we needed it to do. So now we are going to go in with the Killstar Dye. Here's a darker color we're using. It's like a super, super deep blood red. And this one is just a little bit of a brighter red. So we're gonna do this on the front, this on the back. These are very liquidy, so I'm not gonna use a Bowl and brush. I am just going to put this, squeeze it on her head, which makes my job a lot easier. And I am gonna be applying this on damp hair. I don't wanna dry her hair just to put color on it. You can apply semi-permanent dye on wet, damp hair, dry hair, doesn't matter, it's just semi-permanent dye. So I'm gonna go ahead and use these straight out of the container and apply it on her hair. And we're gonna see how these turn out. I'm gonna go ahead and have her tilt her head down so you guys can kind of see like the copper undertone. Okay, so I'm sure you guys can tell here, but there is the coppery root, and then here is the Red Hot we did last time, and then all of this was previous box color. So we have a little bit of a banding situation here. Next time we touch her up, I will make sure to get the Red Hot color or the red color, and we will put that on here, and then this band will be gone and it'll blend in with the red. So there's the copper, there's the red, and then there's a darker color. So applying the semi-permanent will even everything out and get rid of the banding. The most important thing was that we lifted her regrowth, and it is now like a very nice reddish orange. So that's the most important thing.
So I wanted Abby to get a good smell of the color, and she accidentally got it all over her nose. So don't do that because it stains really bad. But I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more about the mistake I made and what exactly went wrong. So I went ahead and did some more research, and L'Oreal has two different Hicolor dyes. One is their normal permanent hair color line. It's just L'Oreal Hicolor permanent cream hair color. And then they also have a line, which is the one I'm used to using. It's called L'Oreal Hicolor Highlights. And the L'Oreal Hicolor Highlights is a high lift color, and it comes in 3 shades: copper, red, and magenta. And that's what I've used for years and years and years on people. This time I accidentally grabbed the normal permanent dye, which they have like 16 different shades in the permanent hair color, and I just happened to grab the wrong one. The boxes look nearly identical. There is not much of a difference between the two different kinds of dye, so make sure to look at the packaging if you're going to purchase this dye. And I made a mistake here putting this brush in my mouth, and then I quickly realized that I should not have put this brush in my mouth because it was covered in dye, and the dye stained my tongue, and the dye also tasted horrible. So don't use your mouth as a tool to hold a brush that has neon red hair color all over it. I tried scrubbing it off, and it did not come off, and it stayed on my tongue for a few hours until I ate something. So yeah, don't do what I did there. But I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more about the packaging. I will leave a link to the correct dye in the description down below. If you're going into the store, the Loreal Hicolor highlights will have the name, copper, magenta, or red directly on the box. The permanent colors have like shade numbers, so it'll say like H8 or H16. So try and look at the packaging before you buy it.
Okay, we got everything applied. I'm gonna let this process 30 minutes at room temperature, rinse using lukewarm, cool water, and then we will be right back to show you the finished results. These colors are so pretty. Like, we just keep talking about how gorgeous these shades are. The one that's in the back, the like Goetia one, that one is so pretty. I cannot wait to see what this looks like rinsed out because we love it. We're just sitting here like, this color's so pretty, like saying it over and over again. And these dyes smell incredible. She thinks they smell like Laffy Taffy, and I can totally smell like a little banana Laffy Taffy. I think they smell like a bowl of Halloween candy or like individually wrapped Bubblicious bubble gums, like the yellow and blue ones and then the little pink bubble gum in the middle. That's what I think it smells like. We're gonna let her process and we'll be right back to show you the finished result. Okay, we are back. Red hands. Should have wore gloves, didn't wear gloves, but that's okay. Last time I learned if I just spray my hands with bleach, it disappears off my hands in literally 5 seconds. And then I just wash them really good to get all the bleach off my hands. But yeah, that works really well for me, I learned. And it takes my fingers right back to their pale ass white color. So yeah, there's a tip for you. Spray your hands with bleach. Don't do that, but it works. Here is the finished result. It turned out amazing. It looks very, very similar to the color last time. I will say this Killstar dye bleeds so freaking bad on everything. Like, reds in general bleed. You guys know if you've had red hair, it bleeds. It's just red gets on everything. If you're in the rain and your hair gets wet, it's gonna drip red. You swim, the water is gonna start turning red. Like, red is just that color that gets on everything. Anytime you rinse your hair, it bleeds. And this dye, I feel like, bleeds even more than a normal red because it is a little bit thinner and more liquidy. I feel like dyes that are thinner tend to bleed and run more. So yeah, the colors are absolutely beautiful, but they do bleed a lot. So keep that in mind. But they are easy to apply, super user friendly. I will say that's probably the quickest semi-permanent application I've ever done because all I had to do was screw off the top, put it on there, work it in, comb it through, and I was done. I didn't have to do bowl and brush and like pick up thick dye and put it on there. The thinness of it does make it easier to apply, but it does bleed a little bit more. It does stain the skin more with that liquidy texture. Here are the finished results. I will go ahead and spin her around and show you all different angles. Hopefully my camera picks up the correct color this time because last time it did not pick up the correct color.
All right, here is the finished product. Look how gorgeous these colors are and look how even. So you'll see the camera adjust to the lighting here in a second. So this is what it really looks like in person. It is such a beautiful, like, deep blood red shade. And then those front two pieces are just like beautiful pops of like Ariel red. I absolutely love these two colors. They are so, so pretty.
That is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out my Instagram. The link to that is in the description down below. I post way more of my everyday life on there. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.